He's like that friend you had when you were a kid who was a pathological liar, and he lied so much you had to just like at some point like there was no point to calling him out and you're just like, yep, okay, dude. Welcome back to another episode. This is Luke from Luke GTV. I just wanted to comment a little bit on the video I did about Johnny Mitchell. This is not a troll at all. I'm not coming to attack this guy just to be an a-hole. You know, I'm really not. The fact of the matter is, one of my subscribers referred me to his videos and said, hey, this guy makes great videos, like similar, drug content. And I kind of put it on the back burner for like 2 weeks. I eventually kept seeing these videos pop up, and I noticed, hey, he's got a lot of subs. I didn't even look, at that point, I hadn't even really looked into like how long he had been on YouTube, how fast he had grown, because apparently like he's gained like 277,000 subs in the last 28 days, which is insane. Obviously his team or himself is paying a lot of money for advertisement and pushing the videos out. It's in high demand. True crime, if you go on Netflix, it's always in the top 10. It's always true crime, narco, drug stories, so it makes sense. So anyways, I watch his first video and I'm like, wow, like I was like hooked, just like most of the people were, or are. And I'm like, wow, this is like a crazy story. Like, kind of similar to Ryan Leone, except way bigger. It's just the production was great. He's very well spoken, very well educated, a smart guy, obviously. And, like I said, the production was really great and just the way it was all put together. But near the end of the first episode I watched, I started seeing these little inconsistencies, like a lot of anomalies. And I know I've said that word, I'm using that word to the max, anomalies. Just like crazy things. And like that's, and that isn't indicative of someone lying. But as I watched the next episode, it was just anomaly after anomaly, like, just the fact of like him being a white person in Colombia selling cocaine. I've been on the Reddit forums reading this stuff. I've talked to many Colombians since this because I've been investigating this whole thing. And from what I've heard from every single person, that is impossible. He also slept with the cartel boss's wife and had an affair, and they were madly in love. Which, can I prove that's not true? No, it's just very unlikely. The straight up lie he told in the story, like undebatable lie, was when it was in the video where I was forced to smuggle drugs in prison, and he talks about his cellmate Jimmy. Now Jimmy, from Johnny's mouth, Jimmy was a guy from New Jersey, and he was a bodyguard for the Gambino crime family, which it's like all these bits of information he uses, it's all public information. When he's telling a story about what happened to him, it's like 3% of the time he's actually talking about what happened, and like 97% of the time he's talking about what other people did, or like he'd be like, yeah, I was in Oregon, man, going through the gladiator fights. Well, if you know anything about prison history, we know that happened in Corcoran State Prison in California. May that have happened at other prisons? Possibly, but it wasn't called the gladiator fights. That's all public information. So anyways, going back to his cellmate Jimmy, he is supposedly worked with the Gambinos, which is like the most like first crime family in the mafia you would think of. So Gambinos, like, yeah, of course, Gambinos. And this guy supposedly goes from New Jersey all the way to Oregon, becomes a Hell's Angel, and he sets up the entire meth network on the West Coast. This is his words, not mine. he said when he met Jimmy that he had already been in the Oregon State Prison for 20 years. He also said that Jimmy had been to, and this is quote verbatim, he had been to dozens of other prisons and penitentiaries, like state and federal penitentiaries. So how would he have time to be involved with the mafia as a hitman, set up this meth distribute? Like, he said he created the meth distribution for the whole West Coast. How would he have any time to do that if he had already been down for 20 years? And before that 20 years, he had been to dozens of prisons. Like dozens, like 12 eggs is a dozen. So 12 prisons. I know that's probably just an exaggeration, but nonetheless, that timeline is just that is just a blatant lie. Like, and it's just little things like that. And it's like, all the information in his video, every story he tells, I've heard in a prison story from like a YouTube channel. Like the story where he's like, yeah, for 2 weeks we had to shower in our boots with our knives strapped to our legs. And here's the issue with him going to prison. So he says he went to prison for a nonviolent crime for 36 months, right? 36 months. First time offender. Coming from someone who's been to the joint, I know the system. I know about this shit. I actually live this shit, unlike some people. And if you get caught with drugs and you get a 36-month crime, first of all, you're probably not even going to get 36 months. Even for like 20, 30 pounds of weed, you're probably going to do like a year in the county and then like probation, you know? But if he did do some prison time, he would go to a minimum. He would not go to a maximum. And let's say he went to a minimum and he got into some trouble. He would then go to a medium. He wouldn't go from a minimum to a maximum. Like, unless he like stabs someone and kill them. So it's, everything he says is complete lies. Complete cap. It's not even like debatable. It's almost like laughable how bad his lies are. And I think why he's able to get away with it is because like the general public who doesn't really know specific prison knowledge, it just is like, oh wow, this is just another one of those crazy stories, you know? And people are, I think he realized, or his team, or whoever's writing the script, because his stories are perfect. Like, they have the perfect endings. It's like, you literally have to make this shit up. But yeah, so his team definitely had, like, or him, they realize the value and the demand. However, it may have been somewhat embellished. It was mostly truth, and it was very obvious to see that. With a story like this, it's just all lie. Like, it is just like 95% lies. Like, you know, and you know, it is what it is. The reason why I'm gonna end it on this, the reason why it kind of angers me and makes me mad is because there really are people who've actually been to prison, who actually live that life, who are actually like struggling, and they have channels and they're making content, and that's how they make their money. And when you got liars like this that come out and just like completely make stuff up, it really ruins the credibility for the rest of us. And I'm, you know, part of the prison community as well. And it takes away from our viewership. So yeah, I'm gonna come at you, man. For true crime, take someone like Ryan Leone. He could have been, you know, he kind of had like, he sold heroin, went to federal prison, you know, kind of like had some dealings. But like Ryan's story, and if Johnny's watching this, I will delete all my videos if you produce paperwork, all your paperwork from prison. Show me your criminal history, a full report of your criminal history, and you have at least you have to have some kind of credible witness that like wouldn't have a bias against you to like confirm this stuff. And actually, now thinking about it, like you could really just find anyone to like do that. So I'm not gonna do that. I want to see the paperwork. You need to provide paperwork, Johnny. It's laughable how bad your lies are. Like it's not even like. So if anyone was watching this who's just like a regular citizen and wants to know why he's lying, it's just like when you watch his videos from an analytical standpoint and you watch like, let's say 15 videos, it's like every single video there's like some crazy anomaly, some like 1 out of 10,000 chance, or 1 out of 5,000 chance, or 1 out of 50,000 chance. It's like in every video. It's like he's like that friend you had when you were a kid who was a pathological liar, and he lied so much you had to just like at some point like there was no point to calling him out, and you're just like, yep, okay, dude, sure. Yeah, you sold kilos of cocaine in Colombia? Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, you had an affair with the cartel boss's wife? Oh, really? Really? Wow. That's crazy. Oh, you were in prison and some guy killed a man with one punch? Wow, you don't say. Really? Oh, yeah. He's a your cellmate was a Hell's Angel for 30 years and he's still getting payments from drug proceeds on the street to this day? But you said that you've been writing your cellie for the last however many years and he's never wrote you back, so how would you even know that? So I'm gonna end it with that, you guys. There'll be more digging to do, but yeah, I'm totally gonna bring this dude down because it's not right, and I'm gonna be reaching out to bigger platforms. So yeah, just know this is going down, man.